Hey YouTube, if you're coming back for another year, welcome back. If you are new around these parts, I'm Becca and I'm out here teaching and talking about everyday skills for the everyday person. It's officially tax season and the IRS is now accepting your income tax returns. For detailed information about all the things that have changed or what specifically to do for certain steps, check out my other videos. But today's video is all about TurboTax and how to navigate filing the 2025 return in the year 2026 using TurboTax's online platform, not the desktop one, the online one. So if you're ready to go, let's go. To start off, you're going to go to the TurboTax main page and you are just going to either sign in or create a new account if you are a first-time user. If you're a first-time user, you will need a phone number and an email. I'm going to go ahead and log in and I'll meet you on the next page. Once you log in, you're going to end up here at this very beautiful picture of this woman who is just happy that you're here. TurboTax is telling you that they're going to ask you simple questions about your year, personalize your answers, and have them for you whenever you need them, and allow you to never feel alone because you have access to real tax experts. I'm going to say got it and move ahead. Do any of these apply to you? This is what is going to create the bones of your filing through TurboTax. They're very general and work for a lot of people, but not everyone. If you have things that are not listed here, you're going to have the chance to actually go into those things. But right now we're just building the bones. So let's go through this. In general, do you want to maximize your deductions and credits? Most people do. If you're wondering whether or not that's you, you can click the little question mark on any of these that are available and they can explain it to you on the side. Donated to charity, I had a job, a dependents, I own a home, and I do not have any of these investments. I'm going through this really quick because my options that I'm clicking here will not apply to everyone. Make sure you go and click the ones that apply to you. Again, these are very general. They're starting off with the bones. You will have a chance later on to go and dive into the details of each of the things for general, employment, family, housing, and investments. So I'm going to go with these and click continue. How comfortable do you feel doing your own taxes? TurboTax is great about checking into your emotional well-being. Do you feel comfortable on your own? Do you need and want expert help? Or do you prefer to hand the whole thing off to an expert? I'm guessing because you're here, you are trying to be comfortable on your own, or you are comfortable on your own. You want to give it a shot and do it by yourself, and obviously not have to pay someone else to help you. That is completely fine. That's great. I applaud you, encourage you. If you are one of these other two, completely, totally fine as well. Your process is going to look a little different than the one I'm showing today. But no, even if you start comfortable on your own and you want someone to help at the end, you can switch later on as well. TurboTax is always continuously throughout this whole thing going to be asking you to upgrade. Obviously, they're a business. They're trying to make money as well. I'm going to start for free. And then later on, if we need to upgrade, we can. Your situation will determine whether or not you need to upgrade. How did you file your taxes last year? Did you not file? You had someone file for you. You used the desktop version of TurboTax, or you filed your own by mail, online, or using software. I'm going to say online using software. Click whichever one applies to your situation and you will be walked through a process that is specific to that to get all the information possible uploaded to TurboTax so that you don't have to fill in information as much as you would if it was completely brand new and there was no easy way of getting that information imported. They're asking you so that if there is a way to import your data, they will help you do it. Okay, I'm going to hit continue filing. If you are new, it's going to say start your filing. You might have to fill in a couple different things to help TurboTax get you started, but I'm going to go ahead and click continue filing. I did skip the first page. The first page just was a summary of all my information. Because I'm a returning user, it has all the information I put in from the other years. Because it's personal, I skipped that part. But yours, if you're a returning user, will just say, hey, here's your full name, your date of birth, your phone number, your address. Is this all still true? You'll just want to make sure that yes, it's still true, or no, I need to update it. And that's where you're going to do that. The next screen looks like this. Let's check for some other situations. Were you a member or former member of the U.S. Armed Forces? What state did you reside in on December 31st, 2025? And if any of these other situations apply, you can check them now. For anything on here, and I'll say it once and again, that if you click it, you will always have to provide extra information, whether it's right here on the page or the next step when you hit continue. If you say yes to anything, sometimes even no to certain questions, you will have to provide extra information. So keep that in mind as you're filing. I'm going to say none of these apply to me. Did you make money in other states? Is it only the one state you listed before, or was it more than one? If you have more than one state, you will be required to do more than one state tax form if that state requires a tax form. Not all states do. Most of them do, not all though. So keep in mind that if you did make money in more than one state, you will just have a little bit longer of a tax session than the general person. I'm going to say no, I did not. Child's additional info. This is, again, coming back from the last year. It's saying, hey, you had this kid. Do you still have this kid? If you don't have anything in here yet, it'll say, do you have any dependents, at which time you can add any children or any adult dependents that you have. And then they'll just ask for the same information they asked you for, which is your date of birth, your full name, social security number, address, and then a couple additional pieces of information if you answer yes or no to certain questions. My child is my son. Did the child live with you the whole year? Yes. All of it was in the US, and there's no written agreement that anyone can claim them, and they have only spent nights in my home, alongside the fact that I'm the only one claiming this child. Answer these questions based on your situation. If you have, let's say, joint custody, even though your child lives with you, but you're sharing that time with your spouse or ex-spouse, then you can click all of that and make sure that it's correct for you. Don't just copy what I've got on here. Make sure that, yes, it is correct for your specific situation. Less common situations for your child: adopted, fostered, disabled, passed away, financially supported by someone else, paid or for more than half of their living expense, etc. I'm going to say none of these and hit continue. Great news, your child qualifies as your dependent. This year, the child tax credit is up to $2,200 per child. That's an extra $200 from the previous year. So it's gone up, which is great, that we can put back in your wallet. All of your information is going to be here. You can expand it to double check your information. Because I've got some personal information there, I'm going to leave it. If you need to add another child, or let's say you didn't add one yet and you want to add one, this is what it's going to look like. Who do you support, a child or an adult person? I'm going to say my child and hit continue. You're just going to put in literally their information, just like I said, how you entered your own information. And then it'll continue on. Let me just put some of this information in here and see what it looks like for you guys. So like you saw earlier when I was confirming everything, these are the same exact questions. You'll do that for every single child or dependent that you put in here. I'm going to go back and not add any one. Child testing, I'm going to just delete that one because I don't need it. I just wanted to show you guys. But this should match your situation. Double check everything, make sure it looks good, and then we're going to hit continue. Let's talk about your income. Now that we're done with personal info, we're going to look at your income. We're going to add my income. This brings me straight into what I put in last year. If you are a returning user, you get the choice to say yes or no. I still work here. I don't work here anymore. Or later on, you can add a different W-2 as well. If you're completely new, you'll have just the chance to put in a W-2 or talk about how you made money in 2025. I'm going to say, yes, I did. I did not work at Uber. That was my tutorial from last year. And then you can start your W-2. In your W-2, you're going to make sure box B on your W-2 matches this. I'm just making this up and it happens to be a real company. So we're going to hit continue. This gives you the option to actually have a password to pull your W-2 straight into TurboTax instead of having to type it a different way. Obviously, if you have that option, great, do that. You can sign in and get that done. I'm going to say enter a different way. You have the option to upload from this device, snap a photo, or directly import from payroll providers. If any of those options works for you and makes it easier, great. In this tutorial, I'm going to say type it in myself because I don't have a real W-2 in front of me for this system. You're going to fill out everything as it looks on your W-2. Box 1 corresponds to box 1 on your W-2, 2 to 2, 7 to 7, etc. Box 12 is kind of where people get confused. You're going to be looking for these little letters on your W-2. Let's see, there's DD here, cost of employer-sponsored health coverage. Let's say the number is 500 on there. If you need to add another one because it's on your form, you can. You can add as many as there are on your form or as little as there are. If you don't have anything, don't add it. You could do that you elected deferrals to a 401k. Let's say we did $5,000 this past year. Again, add as many as you need. Box 13, if it applies to you, retirement plan, yes or no, statutory employee, third-party sick pay, any of that. And then again with 14, state taxes. I am in Minnesota. the employer number. It should be a 7-digit number, and you're going to put this state wages and tips and income tax. I'm going to fill all this out with just some random information so that I can get onto the next screen to help you guys walk through this, but make sure you are double checking everything and it matches exactly what it shows on your W-2. Let's review the amounts in boxes 3, 4, and 7. This is TurboTax giving you the chance to double check that all of these are actually correct. Just take a look at your W-2 again, make sure they're correct, and if they are, hit continue. If they're not, correct them real quick. It looks like you're due a refund from your employer. So depending on your situation, it just happens to be this way because I put in the numbers that I did, but it's saying, hey, it looks like they withheld too much. You need to get a refund. And this is how much they held in excess. If that applies to you, if that was your situation, you'll get you need to get a corrected W-2 and get that fixed with your employer. If not, which in most situations, I hope you don't get this. It just happens again to be the way I put the numbers in. Then you'll be able to move on. When you move on to the next screen, you will be checking for other situations like this. Overtime, tips not reported, paid family leave, corrected W-2, religious employment, any of these that apply to you, click. And like I said, again, if you click something, it will bring you to a place where you have to answer questions specifically about what you said yes to. If you said yes to overtime, it'll ask you about where, when, how much, etc. I'm going to go ahead and say none of these apply to me. If they apply to you, go ahead and go walk through those situations. Here is my W-2 summary. If you have more than one W-2, you can add another one here. It'll walk you through the exact same process as earlier. If not, you can hit continue. And this is where all of the wages come in. You can see I've got a few listed from prior years when I worked on this. If you have stuff from prior years and you need to review, edit, or delete them, you can go ahead and do that. If you need to add more income because this is your first time or you have a new type of income this past year, you can visit any of these to figure out what you need to put in there. If you're confused, you can search for stuff here as well. Generally, if you got income, you'll get a little form in the mail or online via email or download saying, hey, this is a 1099 INT from this company, and then you'd want to start that and input your information there. I'm going to go ahead and clear this out just for this tutorial, and then I'll meet you guys on the next screen after I click continue. Okay, after putting in all your income, you're going to get to the screen. It says, hey, it's time for a quick check-in. Your refund so far is this amount. I'm apparently getting $4,933 back. If you're just like, wow, let's go with that, you can hit continue. If you're wondering why, they actually break down how you got that number so far. So far, we're only over here. We've still got a little ways to go. I'm going to hit continue. And here we are again with that little nudge to upgrade with TurboTax. If you want to, you can and have an expert do that final review. Otherwise, I'm going to hit continue without adding. A friendly reminder, because in the income section, I put in the fact that I had a retirement savings account, I'm getting this notification. If you don't have one, you won't get this, and that's not a big deal. It just is paying attention to the questions that you answer and offering advice so that you know how to look for these deductions and credits. So it's saying, hey, there's this credit. Make sure to look for it in the deductions and credits section, which is coming up next. Do you own or control a foreign bank account, trust, or financial asset? In 2025, I'm going to say no. Answer to whatever fits you. Crypto, no for me. And your tax savings start here. There were a lot of things that changed this past year with the new administration, and they're just showing you that if you want to look at these details, you can. I'm going to be pushing out a video about all the different changes that took place and how they'll affect people. But if you don't want to look into it, you can just say fine tax breaks. Before we move on, I just want to say it's showing up here now what the federal and the Minnesota, my state refund, is going to be. If you want to look at explaining those again, it'll pop up over here. But now you're actually going to be able to track and see how things affect you. This is just based off income. And so when we put in deductions and credits, other tax situations, and then the review, as well as go into state taxes and that filing, you're going to see this go up and down. And that's just the way it works. At the end, you'll get a final number. We can maximize your refund with deductions. If you continue with the standard, great, that's fine. It's the easiest way to go. If you want them to help you decide, you can answer a couple of questions, and TurboTax will help you decide if itemizing your deductions or diving into the details of each little amount will help you get the best refund. I don't know too many people who do this, but I do know depending on your situation, it can help. So if you're unsure, definitely try it out, take a look and see if it's good for you. If not, TurboTax will bring you right back to here and just say, hey, the standard deduction is best for you. Totally fine. Let's move forward with that. So we're going to go with that option. Let's see if any other tax breaks apply to you. Does someone owe you money from an enforceable obligation you cannot collect? I would love to say that someone owes me money, but unfortunately, no one does. If you have an enforceable obligation from someone, you can say yes. I'm going to say no. Let's check to see if you need to enter any health insurance info. Make sure you always read all these questions they're asking you so that you can answer appropriately. Do any of these apply? Did you get a Form 1095A or expecting one? You or your child or dependent were enrolled in healthcare.gov. You or your spouse or dependents auto-enrolled in 2024 and were not officially canceled. I'm going to say yes, I'm expecting that 1095A. Okay, let's make sure we've got everything covered. Looking through less common tax breaks, checking expert opinions, recommendations, seeing what is typically on a claim like yours. You might have these tax breaks. These are suggestions from TurboTax. So, do any of these apply? Property, home, car, and more. Do you have an energy efficient vehicle? I've, don't have that. It's just gas over here. Family, medical, education, child, and other dependent credits. I do have children. We're going to take a look at that. Dependent care credit, care expenses for children, other eligible dependents. Do you have any kind of daycare costs that you want to put in? Student loan interest, HSA, MSA contributions, expenses, and scholarships. You can put all of that in here. I'm going to just say yes to this. We're going to do, let's see, we'll do all of these. I do think in this generation, these are pretty common. So we're going to do these. If it doesn't apply to you, you can just skip through those sections when I get there. And then contributions to the IRA or Roth contributions. Okay, now we've got this long list of things we have to do because we answered yes. But I promise you, once you get each pieces of this the homework done, it is going to help your situation, I hope. Okay. You can see if you are a returning user that, you got this in the past in 2024. In 2025, this is what it shows right now, but let's double check. Mortgage. You don't need to enter mortgage interest. You've already got getting your biggest deduction. Okay, that's fine. Take me back. I'm done with that. Property, real estate taxes. You don't need to enter this either. Okay, take me back. TurboTax would be a lot easier if you just didn't put this in there, but that's okay. We're going to review dependent credits. Let's check getting up to $2,200 per child for the child tax credit. That's more than 200 more. That's 200 more than last year because of the tax changes. So that is not a bad thing. Do you have any of these uncommon situations? Notice from the IRS, don't want to claim the additional child tax credit. None of these apply to me. No, I'm not receiving that, and I'm going to claim everything that applies to me. Great, I qualify. Awesome, that's done. You can see it went from 2,000 to 2,200 because I listed one child. If you have more than one child, you're going to get that 2,200 per child this year. Dependent care credit, and you're not going to get 2,200 per child outright. Like, you won't see it in there. It'll be a credit towards whatever you possibly owe. I should note that. Dependent care credit. If you paid for any kind of daycare, that's where this goes. Let's say, yes, I did pay for daycare. I had someone watch my 11-year-old, even though he should be old enough to watch himself at this point in time. Okay, let's say I spent $5,000 on childcare costs throughout the year. You can see that this number went up. If you had another dependent that, you had to pay for, you can put that there. I'm just going to hit continue. Let's get their ID. So not everyone is registered as a business. Maybe it's a social security number that we need for like a nanny or babysitter. Whatever you have, you put in, let's say it's this, you put their information in and you hit continue. This helps the IRS track their income as well and make sure that you're not just making up the fact that you paid somebody for this. I'm going to go ahead and click back just to exit out of here. But that's what I wanted to show you for that. Earned income credit. Let's review this. Let's make sure you're eligible for this. From what you told us, it looks like you can get it. Let's check things to make sure. Did you live in the US for more than 6 months? Yes, I was here the whole time. Check for uncommon situations. If any of those apply to you, go ahead and click them. Good news, you qualify for a full $65. Wow, look at me. And this is the first time I've seen this. Oh, okay. Oh, that's new. They got a new little cute, I don't know what that is. It's like a flower. son, your earned income tax credit of 65 whole dollars is based on your filing status as head of household, your one qualifying child, and your earned income of $50,000. Your income is above the level to receive the maximum credit, so your credit is reduced. Well, that's nice. Thank you for that. Donations to charity. This is where when savers and Goodwill are like, do you want a receipt for that? You should say yes. Yes, I would like a receipt. And then you write down the date and what you donated and how much it would generally cost if you bought it from the store or what its current value is. That's what those receipts are for, guys. That is why you need to mark that down. Yes, let's enter, can't speak today, my donations. Let's say it was for Goodwill. Goodwill. There we go. Items in stock. Let's say it was a bunch of clothes. It was household items and clothing. Let's say it was the very end of the year because I waited till the very end of the year to dump all my crap at Goodwill. And let's say that it was worth $500. Clothing. Again, can't type today. Clothing. And a lamp and a sofa. Let's just say that it was the present value of those items that I found while looking around shopping for other things. If you need to add more, you can. Otherwise, I'm going to hit done. Right now, the standard deduction saves you the most on your taxes. Like I said earlier, if you went with a different kind of deduction, it might have brought you back to this screen anyways, saying, hey, you're not really going to get more with this, but thanks for the info. You can see they just went back to start on there. Personal property taxes. Did you pay personal property taxes in 2025? Motorhomes, mobile homes, planes, or boats? If you did, say yes, and then you'll go into that whatever you paid. If not, then you'll just say no. Let's say you did do this. Again, standard deduction saves you the most, so thanks for trying, but no dice. Expenses and scholarships, Form 1098-T. Okie doke, all that stuff you're spending on books for you or your little ones who are not so little anymore. Do you have educational expenses? We cover things like tuition, books, and more. Scholarships and other aid. That is what they're talking about. I'm going to say yes, we did pay for, well, child one is only 11, so let's say I'm in school. I am working on my bachelor's. Yes. And I had education expenses. And let's say I did receive a scholarship or aid. Did not go to 4 years of college before, or I did not have 4 years of college credit before 2025. Any uncommon situations? No. Enrollment status, let's say I was full-time while I was working. I was hustling over here. Is this your first year of college or eligible school as of January 1st? It is not my first year of college. Let's say I was going on my second year. And did I get one? I like that it's third person. Did Becca get a 1098-T? Yes, Becca did. How would you like to upload it? Again, you can upload it just like your W-2. Upload it, snap a photo, or type it in yourself. Because this is fake and I'm making it up, I'm going to type it in myself. It is going to be Becca's School of Repeats. Okay. Address. Street North in Brooklyn Center, Minnesota. Oof, what is the... I don't know if that's a zip code for Brooklyn Center, but I'm just going to put that in there. Okay, you're going to enter everything on your 1098-T, just like you did for your W-2 and every other form. Make sure every single box matches what your 1098-T looks like. If you have a box that you're unsure of, send me a message, drop a comment, and I'll help you figure that out. I'm going to go ahead and fill this out with some random numbers and then hit continue, and I'll meet you on the next screen. So after I put down that I paid like $15,000 to school, my refund is continuing to go up. You'll see how yours impacts you if this applies to you and you're putting it in. It is now asking if we have any scholarships or grants. Did we receive anything from GI Veterans Program? Aid was already reported on a W-2 or 1099 miscellaneous. I am, let's see, not going to do any of these. Let's talk about 2024. Did you get one and was box 7 checked? I'm going to say no, I did not. Make sure it's correct for you. If you need to add any other schools, then you can. I'm going to say continue. You can see again that this popped up and went straight up, which is awesome. Let's hope nothing brings it down later on. Okay, time to enter education expenses. Required for books and materials. Let's say I spent $4,000 on books. Optional books and materials from the school. I spent $600 on that on things that I didn't have to buy, but I wanted to buy to help my education experience, which I'm going to make a quick comment completely unrelated to this. Kids in school these days are using their iPads. I cannot imagine using iPads. Like I was a sticky note and pen and highlighter girl. So if you are in a world today where you're using an iPad to pass your classes, all the power to you. I have no idea how you guys do it. Did Becca have any of these situations for their scholarships or grant? Some aid wasn't awarded for 2025 expenses. Becca used it to pay for room and board. Either one of them, if they apply to you, click yes or the check mark. Otherwise, I'm going to hit continue. Any other financial aid? Did you get any other assistance from anyone, employer, veteran assistance, scholarship, grants, or fellowships? I'm going to say no. Congrats, you qualify for the credit. I'm going to say continue. If you have another student, you can add another student. I'm going to hit continue. One last thing to check. Did you get a letter from the IRS stating that they must file Form 8862 to claim the American Opportunity Credit? I got no such letter. Let's check the retirement savings contributions that you mentioned earlier. That I mentioned. Oh my gosh, TurboTax is talking in third person and now I'm talking in third person. Okay, were you a full-time student during 2025? Yes, I was a full-time student. That's what I said earlier. We increase your refund as much as possible. Based on everything you told us, you have been increased as much as you can. It's that $26,000 standard deduction. If you want to itemize instead, you can still change your mind and say, hey, even though you're telling me this is great and the best, I don't believe you. TurboTax, I'm going to do it my way. Go ahead and you can click that button and do your way. Do it your way. Otherwise, just make it easy and hit continue because it's apparently the best option for you. Let's do a quick check for uncommon situations. Let's keep going. Do any of these uncommon tax situations apply to you? Do you want to apply your refund to next year's return? I like that that's uncommon. Everyone's like, no, I want my money now. I'm not going to apply it to next year and be a good steward of my money. I want it now. Okay. No, I don't want to. I guess that's uncommon. So I will be like everybody else. Did you hire a live-in nanny or household employee? I did not. I would love that in the future if you'd like to be my live-in nanny. Can't say how much I'd pay you, but I'm all for it. Do you want to designate $3 to the presidential campaign fund? And no, I do not want to. That's all we need. Let's keep going to wrap it up. If you want to see all uncommon tax situations because there's something in your family or in your situation that you haven't seen yet that you're curious about, you can see all of them here. Again, there's a list of them, farmer fishing income averaging, all of that stuff. I'm just going to hit keep going. Go ahead and find what applies to you and go through those sections. And now it's just time to check my information. Okay, 3 details for you to review. Let's take care of these details now. So anything that I might have reviewed and didn't finish or didn't do correctly, this is where they're going to pop up and you're going to have to look at them again. I'm going to review these really quick so we can get to the end screen and I can show you what is next after that, but make sure you go through and review everything you're prompted to review. There might be something missing or something that just wasn't completed correctly. Okay, when you are done reviewing, you are going to get to this one of the final screens and it says, this is your federal refund so far. Tell us how you're feeling. Oh, you can give feedback. Look at that emotional support TurboTax again. Okay, you've already got a head start on state taxes. Like I mentioned earlier, when you do federal taxes, state taxes will pull all of your information into that form so that you don't have to redo everything. You're only going to have to do anything that applies to your specific state or confirm information you've already put in. I'm going to skip through this section because Minnesota and what applies here does not always apply to everyone else. So the same thing that you did with your federal, go through, answer the questions correctly, fill in the information that applies, do it very diligently, very carefully, and then review it when you're done. And you'll get to this final review stage. So I'm going to click through this stuff and I'll meet you on the review stage. After going through my state return, I have a total refund of $9,003 between the federal and Minnesota refund. If you want to get them together, you can choose to do so. Or if you need to delete your state return and you only want to file federal, which some people do, I've seen that before, that's totally fine. Note that your federal return will cost an extra $39 if you file with your state return. For TurboTax, I believe it's going to be $39 per state return. So if you have more than one, note that that fee will apply. I'm going to file them together, keep it all in the family of TurboTax. You can see that that's here. If you need to add another state, you can do so right now. It'll walk you through every single thing that you just went through, but specific again to that state. And then you can hit done with state when you're done. You're going to go through and check your return. It's just going to look through every single thing and bring up any other issues that arose. And it did find one for me to review. So I'm going to go and review that, and I will meet you on the next screen. TurboTax is making one last ditch effort to get me to upgrade. I'm going to say I'm good, TurboTax. I do not need anyone to check this. Okay, there are the numbers again. Finish and file. And one more time, I guess. I thought that was the last time, but it's not. No shame, TurboTax. I need to be more like that. 3 more steps, and then your return is officially filed. Step 1, review your order. Step 2, your refund information. Step 3, get ready to save and file your returns. So I have 2 options at this point. Because I'm getting a refund, I can pay the cost of TurboTax with my refund, or I can pay now with a credit or debit card. What is the difference, you ask? If you pay with a federal refund, TurboTax does charge you for that. So if you choose to pay with your federal refund, you have to pay that $40 fee, which is like $40 of interest because they have to wait for their money until the IRS pays you. It's that $40 on top of the subtotal. So because I have one state return and the deluxe version, it'll be $88 plus that $40, which would be $128 that I would have to pay TurboTax at this point in time if I were to do it with a federal refund. If I do credit or debit card, I would just put in my information and there's no fee for that. Whatever you end up choosing, just be sure to get a receipt at the very end, screenshot it, whatever you need to do, have a copy for yourself. I'm all about documenting things and making sure you have a record. I'd save it somewhere, whether that's an online drive, on your computer, on your phone, to save it somewhere that you can reference it in case anyone comes back and says you didn't pay for something, or you get something that you weren't expecting to get, or you paid for something that you didn't get. Any of those options. Once you've paid for this, you will be brought to a screen where you can download a copy of your returns. You should download the copy. Again, save it somewhere, have a documentation of everything you've done today or whenever you file your return. And that way, in case you lose access to TurboTax or whatever the situation is, you don't have to go and request a copy from the IRS and wait weeks to get it. You have a copy for whenever you need it. Lastly, TurboTax will help you transmit your return. Generally, that'll be online. If for whatever reason you are required to mail it in, TurboTax will tell you exactly where to mail it and what to include alongside your returns. If you are, like most cases, and you're able just to send it in, transmit it online via the TurboTax website straight to the IRS, it is a lot faster and it generally gets tracked a lot easier. There's no mailing snail mail time, which is great, but I know not everyone wants to transmit online, and that's totally fine. After all of that's done, you'll be able to track it on TurboTax's website. And if you want to, you can actually go to the federal IRS website to track it as well. I'll leave that link down below for you. For the state taxes, you can't track that on the federal website. You'll have to track that on your state website if your state even offers it. If not, I know some states have a phone line that you can call to get updates. But for the most part, I've seen that a lot of states do have an online tracking system. So figure out for your state what works. For federal, it's the IRS website or through TurboTax if you file through TurboTax. If you have any questions, drop them down below. I am wishing you guys all a very easy, painless, headacheless tax season. That's just me and my well wishes. Who knows? Tax season can be crazy. It is crazy for most people. But you're here. You're doing it yourself. I have all the faith in the world in you. And if you have any questions, I'm here to help you guys answer them. So if you have any recommendations or comments about anything you saw in this video, what you'd like to see in the future, or just about your experiences with TurboTax or other providers, I'd love to hear all about it. Drop a comment, leave a like, send me an email, whatever works for you, and I'll see you guys all in my next video.